Yeah, we assess that it will be more than he was bargaining for. This will seriously degrade Russia's intelligence capacities in this country for decades to come. We think it is the right thing to do, and we think it's a robust but proportionate response. It, of course, is part of a package of things that the UK can do. And as the Prime Minister said yesterday, we're going to freeze assets of the Russian state where we have evidence they've been used against UK nationals or residents. We can use unexplained wealth orders. Again, you mentioned the elites and the rich people in London. We don't have any quarrel with them, but where it can be shown that they have a direct link with Putin,
we have to leave it. Thank you very much.
We're going to crack down.
In your busy morning, go and have your cup of tea.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on this morning, Foreign Secretary. It is 5 Live Breakfast, and your thoughts on what the Foreign Secretary has said, extremely welcome. I wonder what you make of it. This is 5 Live.
First for news and the best live sport. This is BBC 5 Live.
Good morning, it's 5 Live Breakfast, and it's Rachel Burden and Nikki Campbell.
And the Foreign Secretary has just told us on this programme that on a scale of 1 to 10, he's 9.98 confident, sure that the Russian state was behind the poisoning of a former spy and his daughter. Chris Latcher, how's your sport?
Yep, Chelsea out of the Champions League, knocked out by Lionel Messi and Barcelona, and the England head coach Eddie Jones has had to apologise for making disparaging comments about the Irish and the Welsh.
Sean Farrington is here with your money news.
Morning. The maker of Marmite, Unilever, has decided to move its headquarters out of London and to the Netherlands. We're also going to be looking at unpaid shift work, should it happen.
Long delays continue on the M6 southbound from Junction 10 Walsall to Junction 6, the Spaghetti Junction after an accident, and queues on the M74 northbound towards Glasgow from Junction 2A Fullerton Road because of an earlier broken down car. More details with Michelle coming up at 25.
This is BBC 5 Live.
And here is the news this morning at 1 minute past 8. The Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson says the British government will be submitting a sample of the nerve agent used in the Salisbury spy poisoning to the prohibition of chemical weapons. Earlier, the White House backed Theresa May's decision to expel 23 Russian diplomats from the UK. Mr. Johnson says the evidence is overwhelming that Russia was behind the attack in Salisbury.
I spoke a couple of days ago to the head of the Office for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and we will be cooperating in exactly that way. That is how to do it. We will be submitting a sample so that they can look at the Novichok and make their own assessment. We believe the evidence is absolutely overwhelming.
Thousands of British troops are to be vaccinated against anthrax following the Salisbury poisoning. It's one of a series of measures which will be announced by the Defence Secretary later. There'll also be almost £50 million to create a new chemical weapons defence centre at Portland Down.
And the World Health Organisation is to carry out a review of the potential impact of plastic on human health. It's after scientists found plastic particles in major brands of drinking water.
The World Health, we've done that already, apologies, experts say around 300,000 extra university places will be needed to cope with demand over the next 12 years. The Higher Education Policy Institute suggests a cap on student numbers may have to be introduced.
And parents across England and Wales have been fined around £24 million for not sending their children to school over the past 3 years. Some told the BBC they actively budget for the cost of fines when planning a holiday.
And Chelsea out the Champions League, Chris Latcher.
Barcelona, Lionel Messi, exceptional last night. Messi scored twice, 3 times across the tie. Barca won 3-0 at the Nou Camp, 4-1 overall. And also this morning we are asking for people's responses, thoughts on Eddie Jones having to apologise for calling the Irish scummy, disparaging comments about the size of Wales as well. He has apologised unreservedly, but it's the most divisive issue this morning in sport.
Thank you, Chris. It's 3 minutes past 8, so we've just been hearing from the Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson speaking to Nikki on this programme. And he asked him, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely it was that Russia was involved in the poisoning of a former spy and his daughter.
Well, I think about 9.98, I would say. And the reason for that is if you look at the particular agent that was used, Novichok, was developed in Russia during the Cold War. We don't know anywhere else that has developed this stuff. You have the weapon, you have the motive, and of course, I'm afraid in the run-up to the Russian election, you see a political opportunity.
Well, Vigaudas Ušackas was the EU's ambassador to Russia between 2013 and last October. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the programme.
Good morning.
From what you know, do you have the same level of confidence that Boris Johnson has that it was in some way Russia or the Kremlin behind this attack?
Well, it's hard to say, being in business after Moscow to prove which one of the two scenarios laid down by the Prime Minister of the UK are going to be indeed proved, whether it was a direct Russian state involvement or it was a local control by the state of these deadly chemicals. But it's clear that we are in a new situation which demonstrates further worsening and huge rift in the West-Russia relations. And it's extremely important that British government does utmost in order to clarify and prove the evidence who is behind and who is responsible.
What kind of evidence would you like to see? What are they not producing as yet?
Well, I get back to the Prime Minister's statement that she clearly stated those two scenarios. I understand that British government decision to expel the Russian diplomats and to introduce a number of other sanctions or measures are as response to lack of cooperation.